Well, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great April. It is starting off, this year has just been fantastic. Masks are off in Arizona, and this town is packed. So, here's a brand new episode of Arizona Real Estate Showcase. Here's some great news for you. First of all, Arizona Real Estate Showcase brought to you by the Grannon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team in Arizona. And hey, I want to send a special shout out. First of all, we love every city, but I got to send a little shout out to Prescott Valley, and Mare, the Tri-City areas up there. We've been very, very fortunate to be working a lot up there. And I got to tell you, what an incredible part of Arizona. The place is just absolutely amazing. The people are amazing. You guys deserve the best. And just thank you for welcoming us to your town and stuff. Cornville, Camp Verde, Black Canyon City. It's been fantastic just meeting some of you and stuff. And so we're looking forward to really making a bigger splash. We are going to have a brick and mortar up there around Gurley Street here this summer. And you'll be physically seeing the team more often. But right now it's mostly my sister and Cody that are up there. So Arizona Real Estate Showcase, some great news here. This is going to be fantastic. We are going to continue to do the podcast, and I thank you to all the listeners. You guys are making this a #1 show. You're going to love this. We are being professionally produced by the morning mayor, Dave Pratt. So any of you that are from Arizona or have heard of 98 KUPD, he was one of the top radio DJs in the 90s and early 2000s, and now he has a big production company. And so we are going to move Arizona Real Estate Showcase and our internet TV show, The Lockbox, to one location. It's going to be a live video blog, so you'll be able to listen to it as a podcast or watch it. And every show is, it's going to be totally different than we're doing now. We'll have these kind of conversations, yet I'll have somebody sit next to me and we'll be able to talk to them as well. And it's going to be about a 45-minute long show once a week, consistently every week. It's going to be great. So if you want on the show, I'd love to have you. Okay, let's get to it. The show won't be super long today, but there is an issue we have to talk about in the Arizona real estate market. And this is going to go to a large percentage of people that are not buying. This is our fantastic renters. Renters make up a huge, huge part of the real estate industry in Arizona. We've got long-term renters. We've got short-term renters. We've got seasonal vacation renters. And then we've got people that are just kind of transit between, if they got a job here for 4 or 5 months, they rent a short-term rental. The rental market is absolutely incredible. Now, with that said, as many of you know, we own instantrenters.com. We cater to the rental market, but we don't do property management. So we're not talking about property management yet. We'll touch on them. But I bring this up today for a specific reason. We know the housing market is crazy in Arizona. You put a house on the market, if it's reasonably priced, you're going to have multiple offers on it, and it's going to go above asking price. It's just the way it is right now. Rent. Guys, girls, I feel for you. I really do. I've got people that are, working their rear end off on jobs, and honestly, the rental prices are absolutely ridiculous. They're skyrocket. In fact, I did a blog several years back, so I'm just going to kind of go over that one because it kind of touches on today. And so the blog I did before was in 2016. We had kind of the same issue. Now it's just ridiculous. And trying to find a place is really, really hard. I'm looking at my list right now, 18 people on the list that I can't find a house for. I mean, we go, by the time we show them the house, get back to write it, it's gone. And they go for above asking. So a 1,500 square foot home that normally is $1,500 is renting for $2,000, and there's 25 people that want that house. So it rents for, $2,200, $2,300, $2,400. It's crazy. And it depends on the area. So I spend $2,000 a month on rent, and the neighbor bought the same house, and their mortgage is $1,300 per month. Am I getting ripped off? Okay. I hear this daily. So why is it more expensive to rent than to buy? There are many reasons for this, and I'm sure everyone has a theory, so I'd rather not get into the debate of the reason why. Just know that there are thousands and thousands of homes that are available for sale every year in Maricopa County, okay? So back in 2008, 9, we had several homes. There were thousands of foreclosures and bankruptcies in Maricopa County. That means people needed to rent because they were unable to buy for at least a couple of years. People that can get a loan, investors come in, they buy your home. The banks took it back for a fraction of what you owed on it. Then they put it back on the market, and it just moves those rent prices up. But right now what we're seeing is we have such an influx of people coming to Arizona that, one, if you're moving to Arizona and you have not been here or experienced the different areas, and we've talked about this in past podcasts, every single area has a different personality. What that means is that, for instance, you might live in a golf community and the neighbors are out there hanging out, there's kids running around partying, but yet you might go to another neighborhood, and it could be in the same community, but maybe across the way, where people go into their garage, they shut it, and you never see them. So every area has a different personality. We have over 350 people a day moving to Arizona, and you're not able to purchase, so you rent, and the rent prices are getting driven up. So you spend $2,500 a month on rent. That is equivalent to about a $325,000 to $350,000 mortgage. All right, and your mortgage payment ends up being a little bit less with the way the interest rates are. So with that said, while I love you renters, if you're able to purchase a home, especially right now, we're getting a lot of people that are calling and they're like, well, we think that the market's going to crash. Perhaps it might. I don't think it is. I think it's still pretty strong. But even if it does, even if it was to crash, your house that you paid $300,000 for is not going to drop to $150,000. That's just a fact. The other thing is that, okay, let's say the market did crash. You spent $300,000 on a house. You have a $1,000 a month mortgage payment on it, minus taxes and insurance and all that. And the market does crash. You own the house. You get the deductions. You get all the benefits of owning a home compared to renting a place where somebody else gets it. Now, again, I made an incredible living on renters, and I love renters. I love the fact people move to Arizona. They're like, hey, I want to live in Chandler. They move to Chandler. We get them a great place over there. But then they say, I work in Anthem, and my kids are, need to be, closer to my work, so I only have a 10-minute drive. So then they move up to Tremont or Anthem, another great community. And every area has a different personality. So what I'm saying is that if you have to rent, do it for as short as you can. Now, that brings up a different point. If you've had a bankruptcy or eviction, divorce, or you just don't know, rent. And try to rent for a short period of time, a year at the most, and explore the areas. So you can still rent and then move forward towards purchasing a home. And you should do that. For those of you that say, hey, well, I'm only going to be in Arizona 2 years and then I'm going to move. Hey, even if you could purchase a house right now for 2 years, you're most likely going to make money on it. The experts we see it kind of slowing down a little bit from the aspect where the prices aren't going to be ridiculous. It's just going to stabilize a little bit. So anyways, so renters are good. The neighborhoods prefer to have people living in them because it just kind of builds a little bit of stability. But if you have to rent, just try to keep the frame of mind that you're working towards a bigger goal. This actually doesn't really make sense right now because it honestly can't happen. We get calls and people are wanting to do a lease purchase or a seller carry. Honestly, in this market, it's that's like a needle in the haystack, actually. If you can find somebody who will do a seller carry, unless, of course, the house is so far overpriced and they're willing to kind of rip you off. And that's the other thing, too. In this market, you want to be careful you're not getting totally ripped off. You don't want to rent a 1,500 square foot home for $4,000 a month. That's a little bit of price gouging, and there's really nothing you can do about it except just stay away from that and move on to the next one. So keep things in perspective. Keep it in mind that the goal when you rent is to purchase. We have to get people into the frame of mind, especially for Arizona and the way everything kind of works in Arizona. And back to the point of those that said, hey, we're going to only be here a couple years. Buy a house. You know as well as I do, 2 years comes and goes really quick. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I've been here 5 years. And during that time, you could have been making some pretty good equity on the house. Lenders. There are some fantastic lenders out here, and we can introduce you to them. And they will put you on a roadmap. So if you're thinking, okay, I can't purchase, but I've got to rent for a little while, then okay, let's get your rental application, let's get a credit report, and let's let them determine if you're in a position to buy. They might say, hey, Mr. Renter, you're able to buy in 3 months. So then let's do a short-term rental. The other thing is, too, many of you think that, I don't have enough money. Here's one of the things when you rent a house. So if you're renting a house for $3,000, or let's say $3,000 a month, you're going to have your first month's payment, which is $3,000. You're going to have your first month's security deposit, which is $3,000. You're going to have your cleaning and pet deposit, which will probably be close to $1,000. So right there, you're $7,000 into it. Now, on a $300,000 house, if you can get an FHA program, that's 3.5% down, you're only a couple grand off of purchasing a home. And I can tell you, our lender friends have programs where sometimes you don't even need to come up with any money. So don't panic. Everything's always confidential. Everybody that we work with is going to make sure they give you a roadmap and put you on the right track. So renters, we love you. We want to find you a great place. But I'm telling you, if there's any position that you can buy, do it. If there's any inkling that you want to purchase a home. Now, with that said, if you're just moving here, I highly recommend renting for 3 to 6 months. Then let's purchase, because I'm telling you, you're going to move into one area and you're going to fall in love with another. Arizona is absolutely incredible when it comes to the different areas. So I live up in Cave Creek and grew up in Scottsdale. And for those of you that know me, I grew up in Scottsdale. And I always thought, I am never going to live anywhere but Scottsdale and stuff. So then I purchased a home in Cave Creek with my family. And let me tell you, where have I been? I love it. It's perfect. Now, with that said, when I was in my 20s, would I have loved it? Probably. But, I had the mindset of living in Scottsdale, and yet you got to go to the clubs and the bars and all that fun stuff. So it just kind of depends on where you're at in life. I have some people that are calling from out of state that, they're adamant. They've never been here to Arizona. They have a job transfer, so they're moving here. Never been anywhere. But my first question to them is, well, what do you like to do? And she's like, hey, I like to go to the clubs. I like to go walk around with my dog and then go to the bars and hang out and food and all that fun stuff. So guess what? Downtown Scottsdale, downtown Chandler, downtown Tempe is ideal for her. I had another lady called, recently divorced, pushing 60 years old, fantastic lady. What do you like to do for fun? Well, I work all day and I come home and I just want to grab a bite. I just want to be left alone. Okay. Well, you know what? She actually moved to Chandler over by Fulton Ranch. She got out and about. Now, get a hold of this. This is the lady she called, homebody, doesn't want to do anything. From the time she got here, she signed up at the Village over there on Ocotillo and Arizona Avenue. Great great health club. Signed up over there. Now, this is day one. This is the same lady that says, I don't want to be bugged. I just want to go to work, go in my garage. Rents a house in Fulton Ranch, which is an absolute incredible community. Signs up at the Village, gets a lifetime or a membership there. Working out, she's hitting all these little restaurants around the area. And I'm talking nightly. And I talked to her the other day, and she's got tons of friends. She's dating some guy. And she's drinking like wine nonstop. And she's like, this is the best time. I love Chandler. This is what I'm talking about. And the best part of this story is that we are currently looking in Fulton Ranch for her to purchase. So the sad part of it is it's so expensive right now that, she's paying $2,500 a month for rent, and the houses are, well over $600,000 that she's looking at. So anyway, we'll get all that stuff worked out. But anyways, that's what I'm talking about. The community is your life, and your life is the community. So you kind of want to figure out what it is you like to do or what you think you might like to do. Test it out, renters. Check it out, and then let's rent you a place for a few months. Meanwhile, we're looking for a house for you to purchase, and you'll love it. And who knows, you might end up loving one area that we moved you into, which you will, but you might have a connection with a different area. It's a fantastic time. It's a great time to do it. And actually, we love doing it. We love our renters. So relax. If you're in a rental situation, do not panic. There are many great things about renting. For example, the air conditioning goes out. Hey, that's a landlord or property management's expense, not yours. Every day I get people that are mad they have to rent. I understand. Make the best of it. Relax. Figure out where you want to be in the next year or two. Embrace the fact that, yes, you're renting a home, but in a year or two, with the market the way it is, you'll be able to buy the perfect home. Let's keep things in perspective. Get a home you can love for a year or two. If you plan on buying a home and you want your mortgage to be $3,000 per month, then consider renting a home for $2,000 a month and save that extra $1,000 a month. So in a year, you'll have an extra $12,000. Also, if you're single or do not have a significant other or kids, you're just kind of by yourself, you might want to consider a smaller home or even embrace like a high-rise, loft, condo, townhome. Bottom line is that the situation is temporary. Embrace it, deal with it, and spend your time on more positive issues. The year goes by super quick, and we'll have you a place. Hey, I am so excited about the Lockbox presented by the Grandin Group. It's actually going to be the Grandin Group presents the Lockbox. It's going to be on Star Worldwide channels. We're going to have a blog. You guys will have to probably sign up to get it to your direct email and stuff. The shows are for you. These are all about you. We try to give you a real life perspective. You're not going to ever hear me getting on the radio shows, these podcasts or video podcasts, and talking about the real estate market is going up at 20% and we can do this. I'm not interested in that, and neither are you. We want real life situations. I really love connecting with you guys and girls on the real estate market. I mean, I love Arizona, so we're here to promote Arizona and the real estate market, and you will always get a straight answer from our team, myself, the Grandin Group. So anything you need, check us out, Grandin Group. Call us, email us, whatever you need. Renters, instantrenters.com. I know it seems like a pain. We will find you a house. It's temporary. Keep your eye on the big picture. I am Jason Grandin with the Grandin Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. We are getting closer to the Grandin Group presents the Lockbox. You guys have a good one. Have a spectacular week, and we'll talk to you soon.